Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Nelle. Hello.
Hello. Oh my gosh, what an episode today.
I know I just watched it, but part of me is like, what? Like, it's coming. It's all coming back. It's coming back to you. Okay. No, it's coming back to me. And you know who also came back this week? Jocelyn. We don't know where she was, but she came back.
I just love Joss and her confidence and her relationship with her mom and her sassiness. So, what did you think about the confrontation? Because we've all been waiting to see how Joss was going to handle this. And I loved like throwing out an early start to Jason's face acting because that dude tried to
Yes.
back away slowly, but that did not happen. He was not allowed.
So hard. You know, this is what you get for having a long-standing relationship with someone. You meet their mini me. That's the problem. But yes, so the thing is, like, Jocelyn's back on her own turf, right?
Yes.
On her own turf. And she came in there guns blazing. She even called out Jason saying, "Do not leave because she can't lie to me in front of you."
Love
And
it.
I was
Love it.
like, oh no. But what intrigued me a lot was like, okay, because we've been talking, right, about what this could mean when Joss's career or whatever comes out into the open. And so it was strange for me because I'm like, okay, but like worlds are colliding, and Jason's like has so many questions. like the guy who you could count on to really like not say much had like he was interested. He's
Okay,
interested.
so here's the thing, right? And there's a lot
Yeah.
of questions I had about Jason and his relationships this week. But
Yeah.
this one in particular is like, okay, so like he actually goes on vacation. He likes hiking, or was this a little seed for us to say he also did training? And he might know in the back of his head that something's up because he said, I went during my time away. So he was away kidnapped and they let him go on vacation. Like there's so much that I don't
No,
understand.
no, 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 no. It's not a reference. I don't actually believe that because I actually said those exact words before Jason had his line when Johnny was like, "What?" And so when he said, "I also went to Easter Island," I'm like, "Oh, it was probably from his time away." Because then I was explaining to Johnny, and that's before Jason even said his line. It was
Yeah.
during my time away, and I said, "See." So how I interpreted that was that during that early phase of Jason, Carly, Sunny, and perhaps maybe once Carly started things with Sunny, like Jason left, and so there was a period where like the Jason character and the Sunny character were kind of like tapping in and out on the show. Like there was gaps where Jason wasn't on the show, and then there were
Mhm.
gaps when Sunny wasn't on the show. But when I was saying time away, that goes back to like Michael being a child.
Okay, because I'm like, so you were kidnapped, but they brought you all on a field trip?
No, so this is when like Jason left town, and I believe that I don't remember the reason, but I remember like it may have had something to do with like the challenge in how things became situated with regards to Sunny and Carly may have played a role in the
Okay,
reason, whatever, for his departure then,
that
storyline
makes
wise.
a lot more sense than what I was
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah. And so I do want to talk about that, right? Because we are like last week we got the reference of a very significant moment in history when Carly sleeps with Sunny and everything with Jason and her romantically kind of ends. I will say, guys, if you're looking for a good time, that sounds weird. If you're
You might
looking
want to
to,
rephrase
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. So I went down the rabbit hole of 1999. Okay. So if any of you want to
Good
go
year.
back to 1999, just go on YouTube and be like, Carly Jason 1999. And I will say this, like, I think I showed Johnny a couple scenes. I'm like, okay, so soaps were different
So
back
wait, is
then.
this the video that is linked in your article on our
No, it's one
website?
of them. It's like it's a small clip, but I was watching like everything. Like the clip that's in the article I recently wrote about the Jason Carly relationship. It's just a clip between them two. But
Okay.
I was looking through this actual playlist when it was just all of that year, all 1999, all that time frame. And so I'm watching scenes with like Jason Carly, and I was like, okay, it's coming back to me. But it was Jason Carly and Sunny.
Okay.
Um I was I was like, okay, so like soaps were just a little bit more aggressive in all kinds of ways back then. Like
Okay.
the fights were just, oh damn, like the way Sunny spoke to Carly, the way Carly and Jason argued, like Jason's like yelling at this girl, so is Sunny. Like the
Oh my.
like just the diet, like it was just so different, right? It's so it's like it's such a time traveling experience. Um, and even like the scene where Carly and Sunny hook up, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like I don't I don't see having scenes like that today. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And like more talky. Like if you look at some scenes of like Jason and Carly, like that's the thing. Like back then, like I don't know. Well, can I say it's like a will they won't they? They basically talk about their feelings, or it's always there underlying, but there's a lot of like Carly pushing. There's a lot of like, well, how do you feel, how do you feel? And when you watch those scenes, it's her
Hmm.
pushing constantly because he actually shares nothing. And it's so interesting to watch how the characters have changed so much, because in the previous dynamic it's a lot of Carly being like a lot of talking, a lot of trying to get any information from Jason about how he feels. And
Yes.
so like sometimes he's like, "Well, shouldn't you know?" Like basically like how much he cares about her. And she's like, "No, I don't know." And so it's really funny how like that's why I was saying like, "Oh, this feels different." It feels like Jason is more like it's less Carly being the one kind of expressing herself. I'm like, "No wonder when I look back on those scenes, that's what was more emphasized." Anyways, it was just really fun to go down memory lane and watch all of those things. But it's just on GH currently, I will say this. They mentioned Carly and Jason mentioned last week the moment she slept with Sunny.
Yes.
Then, yes, there was a reference to the fact that he'd also been to Easter Island during his time away. And obviously there it's twofold. There's a reference to his past and also just the idea that like Jason is maybe going to be harder to lie to than anyone else.
Yes.
And there's a good chance he'll figure it out, obviously, before anybody else. But there's other things too, where there's just definitely drawing on the past, like going back in time. Like we saw today, Jason with Sasha, for instance, going over his estrangement from the Quartermains.
I loved that because she I like the way you talk about her, that she sees Jason as this like uncool old guy. And she just kind of like she has such a different perspective than anybody else. She knows he's loyal and stuff like that, but the way she questions his life choices and that he has to really kind of elaborate on where he was and where he is now. I love that because she's such a different lens from which we can see how much he's grown.
But that's exactly what her role is kind of
Hmm.
to make that, like to distinguish that. But right now, like for me watching, it's hard to ignore how it's feeling a little full circle. I mean, it's hard not to think that, particularly when it comes to Jason being in the
Yes.
place in his life where he's like coming home. You know, it's a big deal to
Yeah.
Tracy. She expects full-blown commitment. But as but as a viewer, it's really interesting because him coming home, it's not that the circle is fully closed, but it takes us back to a particular time in his life, right? And it feels very much like a redo. Like we'll talk more in detail about Carly's confrontation with Willow, but I thought it was really interesting that what you see in the scene is Drew calling out AJ and then Jason is messaged. So you have that closing scene and then
Hmm.
Jason's getting a message to go get Carly. But it happens right after the AJ mention. And I find when it comes to like the Jason Carly journey, they definitely are digging things back up. And it does feel that like they're looking maybe to kind of rewrite that a little bit. I don't know if I should use the word rewrite or maybe correct if you remember the storyline, remembering that Carly lived in the Quartermain mansion with AJ when she would have preferred to have been with Jason.
Oh, see, I love all these nuances. And even when like Jason is talking about what it is to be family and convincing or not convincing Sasha as to all the reasons why raising her child in that environment would be great. Like, did you ever think you'd see the day when he's so implanted into that home that he wants to bring basically his grandson into that world, into that life, surrounded by love and family?
It's huge, right? It was when he was
Huge.
with Sam that he kind of opened up and started to maybe understand a little bit of maybe the hell Monica was going through.
Yeah.
Because for him, it's like they were strangers to him.
Mm-hmm.
And all he remembers initially is just the pressure they put on him to be whoever he once was. And he needed to get away from that. And it took him a while to even kind of give them a chance. But remember, like Michael was that window, right? Like Michael definitely connected. Yes, he was AJ's, but it allowed an avenue for the family to like reach Jason through Michael.
Yes. Yes.
And you can't help but notice that Jason and Carly once again are rallying around the boy that made them a family.
Yes.
So I find like there's definitely a lot of these really cool nostalgic hints to things. And I mean, this week specifically, I just thought it was so funny because when Sasha was talking to Jason, I'm like, Jason's acting like such a Carly. He's like he's like, "I'm gonna tell Willow to just not, and don't worry, I'll be nice about it, and I have to do something. Not acting is hard." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Who is who in this scene?" Because Sasha was coming off like a Jason, and he was coming off like a Carly. And the fact that he showed up to like hold Carly back, I'm like, I know Carly is Carly, but I mean, she
Yes.
hasn't been 1999 Carly in a long ass time.
In a very long time. But she was going to launch that arm, and how I so wanted it to land.
I will say this before like Nina gave kudos to Willow. I was like, look, I can't say that I care for anything that she says because we all know who Drew really is. But I really felt like she held her own. You're going up against Carly. It's
Yes.
not like the stuff Willow says really holds much water, right? Because she doesn't have very much to stand on. Her choices haven't really been
How do you
impeccable.
how do you hold water?
You can't.
Okay, good.
That's the
Sorry, I
point.
got
Her
stuck on that for a second.
her arguments, what she's saying, what she's
It
bringing
just
to the
washed
table
away. Got
doesn't
it.
hold water. It's just
Love it.
slipping
I
through.
love that so much.
Yeah. Okay, so we're back.
Sorry, I had a moment. It's Friday, y'all. Like
I- but it was really interesting because it's like as viewers we know that when like a long-standing character is maybe arguing at someone and being mad about something, we all have our memories and we know that whatever that person's angry about, chances are they've done it before. We know that, right?
yeah.
And so if Carly's arguing with a Willow, Willow is not going to come up with like the AJ argument. She's not going to say anything because she wasn't there. So the
Exactly.
audience knows how like insane the things Carly is saying is because we know the background. But what bugs me about Drew, because he didn't just do this with Carly. He does this a lot with the quartermains and it drives me nuts. Like we
Encyclopedia
all
Drew.
exactly. Like it's fine. We do it as viewers, like I'm a Carly fan, but when she's saying stuff, even I'm like, no, Carly, you did that. Remember AJ? And, and when she was accusing Willow, like you slept with family, I'm like, actually though, it was AJ, Jason, Drew, and when you thought Franco was Jason's twin.
Oh shoot, right.
Right? But I like Carly, so it's
Oh, me
different coming
too.
from me through my TV, right?
Of
I'm not
course.
ruining her moment. I'm not getting in the way, but I know. We all know.
Like you
But
go
Drew
on, Carly.
but Drew has been doing this crap also with the Quartermains. And you know how I
Yes.
feel. It's a counterfeit Quartermain constantly reciting
Yes.
like history. Like it drives me nuts when he argues with like Ned or like Tracy and he brings up Tracy's past, or he brought up Lois once in an argument with Ned. I'm like,
Hmm.
it's just so mechanical when you do it. And it's sad and it's grasping. And it was like,
Yes.
guys, remember, even though I missed everything, I still know stuff. Like he's trying so hard to be a person with a memory. It's annoying. It's really annoying.
I think my favorite is he's what is it, Dawn of Drew?
Oh,
They're like,
I cannot believe like Johnny was like, "Is that the first time that's been said?" I'm like, "On the show, but
yeah,
everyone else has been drawing those conclusions and absolutely making comparisons between Drew and Dawn of Day."
yes.
So the fact that Sasha said it, I was like, "Damn." Like she got mad at Carly for comparing her to Nelle. Imagine if someone's like, "What are you still in a cult?" Like, could you imagine if she heard Sasha say those words?
She would say something so ridiculous
I
in
know.
return. It would be like an elementary style joke.
Yeah, like
Like
something
I'm rubber, you're glue kind of thing, right?
that doesn't hold water.
Exactly.
But like, I forgot about Nell. I'm not gonna lie.
I did though as
So when,
well.
so when the Carly was like gonna compare to someone, I'm like, Harmony?
Ooh, tell
And then
me.
it's so sad because like I'm watching with Johnny, he's like Nell, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, because that's what it was. Because in my head, I'm like, the person Carly would have like, I don't know, maybe said on instinct was like Nina, but I'm like, she's not going to insult Nina
They're
because they have
friends
this
now.
they
Yeah.
have an alliance. So I kind of forgot about Nell, but I was like, even I know that's not completely true, but it's really funny to say in this argument to
But
Willow.
I mean, she made some valid comparisons, so
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely loosely based, and Willow is not a Nell, but it's definitely hit her where it hurts. And it's
yes.
awesome. Because I remember when like Willow was all like getting into a fight, like a physical fight with Nell, and all that stuff. But I mean, like, kind of like on the surface, you swooped into their family, except you walked away with a lot of stuff. Nell didn't. She
Yeah.
didn't. But I love how she said, yeah, Nell tried to take one kid. You got two. You win.
That was amazing. Like honestly, one of the best lines this week.
Like, of course we know that there's certain things Carly said, like when she said, I would never keep my kid away from its dad. She was like, AJ nuts.
It's like shut your face, Drew.
Like I even came across those scenes where like it's definitely not 1999, but it was when AJ came back from the dead and Michael is begging his mom, don't call the cops. Because he was like
So
wanted.
wait, so Michael's had three of his air quotes dads come back from the dead?
Yes, he's three
I
for
guess I didn't
three.
do the math.
He's
Okay.
3 for 3. So AJ comes back from the dead. He's wanted by the cops. So Michael is keeping this like a secret also because Monica was the one who kept him alive. And then when Carly walks in and finds out, she like Michael's like, "Please, for me, don't call the cops." And then she calls Dante and
Mm-hmm.
then Monica slaps her.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like there was some good stuff, right? There's a lot of history. So it's like even though like Carly took some hits, right? The AJ thing, you know, keeping your kid away from their dad or like sleeping with family members. She still walked away a winner. And like I love how like at the end of all of this, Willow's like, "Oh my gosh, can she like really take away my baby?" I'm
I
like,
could not. I could
Nina
not.
must have been losing her mind, being like, I've been saying this. You know, we don't know the outcome, but the point is, someone can make that their goal and then fight you for it. Right? Like, that's the point. Like, you wanted to avoid a custody battle. Like, the ultimate goal was simply just shared custody, right? And at the end of the day, you get shared custody, you let time pass. Like, yes, Willow is right. She probably would have ended up moving in with Drew at some point with the kids if Michael was around. Shared custody means she's going to get to have them and she could live with whoever she wants to. That's the reality. But now, as Drew pointed out, well, Michael's burnt. Okay. Michael's not
And
healed. Michael can't talk to his mommy. And I was like, how dare you drag Michael into this when he has no idea what's going on?
no, but they're in love, Mish. They're in love. She's in love.
I know. I
That
was
like
like,
conquers all.
oh, of
Burnt
course
skin
it
and all.
does. Love is all you need. There's plenty of songs about it.
They
But
must be right.
and then like when she's like, and like, you expect me to say sex? I'm in love with him. And they turn around and have a moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're such a loser. What are you guys gonna do? Being like, remember that time I first said I love you with like Carly yelling at me?
Exactly. She's embedded into all their memories in so many ways.
Yes. Oh my God. One of my favorite ones, one of my favorite lines that Carly threw at her was like, oh, I can't believe I walked you down the aisle. If I could do it over, I would have dragged you away from Michael. I was
Amazing.
like, 'cause you know what I
Amazing.
mean? Like to stand there and have like your history and all your past thrown in your face, and you're like, that doesn't phase me. She's like, my nerve? Hell yeah. My nerve helped me beat Nell, and it's going to help me beat you too. I was like, yeah, that's the Carly spirit. You go.
I I love it. Okay, so a logistics or just like a friendship
Yeah.
question. So
Okay.
Nina has Jason's phone number in
That
her
is
phone?
what I said. That is what I said. I was like, how and why would Nina be texting Jason? But she does. And I like this is because like the seed cuts, right? Like the drama happens.
Yeah.
And like she's just stunned and Nina's just standing there and it cuts to commercial. And Barty was like, wouldn't it have been so funny if Nina's like, oh gosh, wow, that was tough. I'm gonna go check on Carly. It would have been so.
That would have been so good.
But now I'm like, just for spite, I'm like, yeah, I know it's not good for the kids and it's a good thing they're fictional children. But I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, you should do that. You should try to take them. And yeah, could you imagine how insane that would be? Michael's not even here because it happened, right? It happened. The court already took her kids away, even though she was the only parent. Like by default, they should have been with her. And Tracy managed to get the kids away. Like, I think it would be pretty bad, right? That if Michael's not even here, that she lost the kids. It would be complete insanity. But like,
But
I'm
it's like
here for it.
I'm here for it too, and I'm questioning like what side does Nina land on because she's looking at Willow like she's completely lost her mind. She looked at her with pity, but also like she was lost. So
I
it's like, is she gonna partner up with Carly to get the kids away?
absolutely like because the goal
Oh, I
is not
love
to
it.
take the kids away from Willow. The thing
I
is
know.
to get them away from Drew. And if everything comes crashing down, there's the chance for like Willow to come back. So yes,
Yes.
I absolutely think Nina's gonna go full steam ahead. I mean, he's gross. Look at what happened.
Oh,
She
so
she tried
gross.
to encourage visits at Monica's. Like Monica is ill, like in the show, and Drew's
Yes.
like, make her come here. Like, what are you saying? So it's like he keeps trying to undermine everything. And I think, like, yeah, I
Yes.
think Willow does have to hit bottom. And I think as long as like that Nina and Carly can see the kids, I think Nina's pretty much fine with that.
And it brings her closer to Carly, which is always what she's wanted. So
It's yeah, and I think it's really bad just the way that like, Willow's like, "Well, you were with Sunny and look how well that worked out for Michael." I was like, I feel so bad for Michael.
I
This guy took
know.
so many shots while he's like recovering. And then even Drew, like all of them, oh, Michael's talking to his mommy. And I'm like, wow, from the Drew and Willow camp, they really took like these digs at Michael.
On a separate note, have you happened to check out Chad Dooley's Instagram?
100%. Yes, I did.
Okay, so he's doing great. Like, we can't wait to have him back.
Yes, he's doing great inside too, Mel. He's also
Oh
doing
yes,
great
of
on the
course.
inside. He's doing great on the
Mentally,
inside.
he is doing a lot of work as well as externally.
Yes. Something we forgot to mention. Brennan pretty much told Carly, I think you should go to Willow's and give her a piece of your mind. So for me, I'm like, well, that's the opposite of counting to 10.
I don't like him hard, okay? We all know this.
Yes.
And I really struggled with such an important part of her life that he felt that he had a say, but also that she let him.
Well, one, I'm glad it kind of like interrupted their supposed working
Yes.
together. But
Yes.
also, I wondered if he meant what he said or if he was trying to distract Carly with the Willow nonsense while Joss is back.
Damn it,
I
maybe.
I don't know. And that's why like Joss was so funny. So like yes, there was all the back and forth she had with her mom about Brennan and chewing her out for that and asking her about like whether or not she had like slept with him. And and then when he like and she gave him hell when Brennan did also show up. And then when Brennan and Joss were finally left alone, it was so funny how he like thanked
Yes.
her for like for really playing it up. She's like, "Who said I'm pretending?" And I was just like, "This is
Amazing.
so funny."
Amazing.
Like, what on earth made him think that she was pretending? It's not like she was dishonest about her perspective when they were in training.
Well, right? And I like that's It's wonderful to have a boss you can talk to like that. I mean, at the end of the day.
Oh my god, exactly. And so she's on her first mission, and so she thanks Emma, which is kind of interesting, on Michael's behalf. So they definitely, I like that, like, Michael is front and center in the story. So it's like, even though he's not here, like, I feel like I miss him less because it feels like he's still there, like, super
Yes.
active in the current storylines. So Josh shows her appreciation for Emma. And honestly, from Gio's perspective, like, he's not getting Emma, right? Because he knows about Joss's past, even though he wasn't around for it, and he sees the person that she is. And frankly, when Emma was talking about Jocelyn, I was like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. 100%, like, the cheating. Like, I could see why she would be upset on Cam's behalf, but I think that
Yes.
that was really immature of Emma to recognize that if that is something that Cameron and Jocelyn can move past, then I should too. And I'm like, that's a mature thing to say. But then when she had this description of Jocelyn, I was like, yeah,
Yes.
that's not accurate. Because she's like, Joss creates so much chaos and everyone buys her way out. I'm like, of what? Like,
I
what?
know, right?
What shenanigans has Jocelyn gotten into that was like that she was bought out of, or that she had someone get her out of? Like, stuff's happened to her for sure, but what chaos did Joss create? She's acting like she's a spoiled rich kid, and I mean, Joss is privileged and it shows here and there, but for the most part she's one of the more grounded rich kids.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, Emma's living on a planet of her own, but Anna obviously got her things on sale. This is what like floors me about Anna. So it turns out that, like, Anna has Brennan protecting Valentine when he prefers to kill him.
Yes.
Two, she used Brennan to access Emma's files. Yet she's like, why are you dropping by unannounced? As if that was not what she did when he first got his office in Port Charles.
Right.
And she also broke into his hotel room to drug him because he was introduced to Emma by Joss.
Oh, yeah.
But now I wonder, was it because she was afraid he was going to recruit Emma?
Oh, that could be something there because they're quite similar.
Do you believe they're similar? Because Emma and Anna in today's scenes were like, we're the same, you're the same, me and you, we're the same. Is that why you think they're similar?
No, because and oh gosh, that scene just had me thinking of you sitting beside me and how much we would laugh because Anna is so organized and she has resources and she always has a plan. I'm like, who are we talking about here?
Okay, this is really bad. Should I say what I said when I actually watched it?
Sure, as long as you can monitor your swearing.
It's not even about swearing, but I was watching her deal with Emma, and I just said this out loud. I'm like, honestly, maybe it's not a bad thing that she wasn't around for Robin.
Honestly,
Because I was just watching it thinking of my Anna Banana. It's like she has the DA breathing down her neck, being like, I'm not your ex husband. Therefore, my plan is to hold you accountable. And so then Anna decides that what she thinks is a really good idea is to continue working with Jason while the DA
yeah.
is looking into her. She's like, that's still gonna work, right? For
They're
sure,
gonna
that's
keep their
gonna work.
friendship on the DL.
Even though this DA feels, and she hasn't, Anna 100% has not used her power to protect criminals, plural. Okay. She's done it to protect Valentine. She hasn't really done it to protect Sunny or Jason because she has not been able to, like, find anything. And I think it's like, it says something that the DA thinks that her incompetence is accidental. And I think that is the highest compliment, to be like, you're doing this on purpose. And I was like, I swear I'm not. I just don't have evidence. Like, I can't, I can't. And I'm really confused about why she needs to continue working with Jason, or why she has
Same.
time for, like, this side quest with Jason. Like, does she not have enough cases?
I'm not even sure or clear as to what their next mission is.
Me neither. They don't have
Okay.
one, but it's gonna be Emma and the professor, and that's what's gonna find, like, that's how they're gonna find out about Joss.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So something about that professor, I'm guessing maybe he's like extreme or has a group or whatever's related to Emma. But that was like a whole thing though. Like, you got the thing unsealed and you're like, tell me, I'm gonna force you. It's just, it was a lot.
It was too much. It
I'm
was
like, it was real.
unnecessary. And I'm also confused as to the reaction. Like, there was animals, and then there was a guy, and then I like hit him a little. Okay, But he could have died. I'm like, did she give him a paper cut? Like she banged him up a little, like she whipped her. How strong is Emma that she turned around and nudged this guy with a crowbar? Like at the end of the day, he's fine.
Yes. I feel like
But
you
he could
also
have
would have
died.
got a talking to from Anna. I think that Emma's downplaying it, right? Like if he swung Emma around and she was holding a crowbar and she swung back, a crowbar is metal.
I
It's
know.
heavy. So I mean, I'm sure he got banged pretty hard, you
He
know?
could have died. That's all I
Yes, I do think a blow to the head could do that for you. I mean,
Yeah,
for
I guess.
years, Johnny thought it was inevitable that if you fell down the stairs, you would die. And I'm like,
You
I'm
didn't
so confused by this. And I think it has a lot to do with just soap operas.
Yeah,
Because
100% misleading.
yeah, it's okay. He doesn't listen anymore. He used to, but he doesn't anymore. Thank you all for tuning in to this. Can I just say, what is it that you think Portia's gonna find? Because remember, like in her thing about like
Another
getting,
thing I was confused.
so like we saw that she kept like, hoarding Drew's files. I'm like, I'm not sure what you think you're gonna find. But then when she pushed harder today with Brad, I was like, huh, what are you gonna find? Are we gonna find out that he's like has zero quartermain ties?
I got goosebumps because that's the only thing that can make sense. I really hope it's what you said because, like, at the end of the day, I don't want them to do some sort of big research and Portia finds a tumor, and that's the excuse for his terrible personality. Like, I just won't be able to handle it.
Wow. Wow. I mean, yes, like, we use the tumor for Franco, and who else had it? And then like Heather had the hip.
Her hip was her bad personality. The
No,
tumor was Frank.
they were murderers. I love that. I love that. That's incredible. He's a jerk because his bad because he has a tumor. I don't think that that's the thing though. I'm like, if you have results and the guy is ill, that's like, how do you leverage that? Like, haha. Like, I don't see that as
Exactly.
fun or entertaining. And I also think that if you determine that it turns out that this John Doe, who's now Drew, maybe
Mhm.
he was the other guy that did these horrible things. Why would that matter now, particularly since he doesn't remember his past? But what we know is that being a quartermain and not being accepted by the quartermains is a really big thing. So to find out you have zero claim and zero association,
Mhm.
that have definitely more of an impact on him than maybe just finding out he was oh, I did bad things. Oh, you're the guy who, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it has way more weight. Like, look at how upset he was and went straight to Portia when everything happened with the crypt. Like, the name for him is everything. And I loved when, was it this week when Nina brought in this package that said for Drew Kane?
It was, but I'm laughing at myself because I made it seem like him finding out that he's not a quartermain is different than him finding out he was someone else. It's the same thing. It's just more detail. So
We're doing awesome, guys. Like,
I think so. So yeah, so I think that they're gonna discover like a bombshell. Like maybe he's like Tom John somewhere else.
what's the other town? One town over.
From with a P?
It'll come to
Um
me.
Crest, maybe not
Was
a
it with a
crest.
bar?
Pine Valley.
Yeah,
No?
no, no.
Beecher's Corner.
Beecher's
Yeah.
Corner, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's a guy. Yeah, he's Beecher's
Yeah,
Corner.
totally, totally.
Yeah. Okay. So other things that I'm happy about,
Yes,
so glad that there was a solution with regards to Jordan and Laura. Okay.
yes.
Uh, I was just happy it didn't really become a thing, right? That there wasn't really a rift or that Jordan wouldn't actually go after the job. But like when Sidwell offered her the job and she was so quick to decline, I was like, but this is sort of the break that I feel like Jordan was looking for. Because how I see this is that Sidwell is Jordan's Cyrus Renault. Because Cyrus Renault was this big bad
Yes.
guy that she didn't successfully put away and ended up crossing lines in order to do that. And it bit her later on, right? He ended up kidnapping
Yes.
TJ. So I feel like Sidwell for Jordan, like I feel like maybe part of her passion for putting him away is kind of like her Cyrus Renault redo.
Her white whale.
Yeah. And I also think this is really interesting because it's like we know that Jordan has definitely missed law enforcement. It was something Isaiah had like reflected to her. But like
Yes.
I just am so curious as to where she's gonna end up. I think it's so cool, right? She went from like commissioner and then she worked in politics with Laura and now she's gonna go and work for Sidwell. Like I kind of wonder where Jordan will land, but like I love that they're doing this. It's so fun to see like all the places that Jordan can really go. But I just love that they're keeping her true to Jordan because at the end of the day, Jordan wouldn't turn around and like snake Laura. Like I love that her and Laura could talk about their different view on Sunny and still preserve their relationship and the way that they are and still have that high level of respect for one another.
Oh, absolutely. It couldn't have gone down any other way. I
Oh
love them
yeah.
plotting together and just like the plan they came up with and just making sure that they're both okay with how everything's going to go. Like I love like the women friendship. It also makes me happy, right?
Yeah. So that ended up going like so basically a worry that I had about Jordan and Laura don't have it anymore and really excited about that. But of course I had worries about like Ava, Alexis, like all of that, Rick, Kristina, like that whole thing. It's like we like Ava, but put Ava in certain situations and you're like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like it's hard because in
Yes.
this situation, yes, someone tried to kill Ava, but even Ava doesn't care that someone tried to kill Ava. Ava's like, this is leverage. And Rick's like, you could die.
Right?
So, and I guess for me, like when Ava, because I mean, look, it took them what, all of 5 minutes to put it together. And we thought that like maybe Rick would be inclined to protect Kristina, but that wasn't it. When the memory resurfaced, he really kind of like, expressed it and talked out with Ava, and he really wanted her arrested.
Yes.
So I guess for me, I felt really bad for Alexis to go blackmail her because at the end of the day, it's not Alexis's fault. Her money was taken away. We know that it's
I
Valentine's.
know.
And so I'm just like, I just hate that Alexis was being put in this situation because it's like it hasn't even been a year yet. And I want to like
I
stress
know.
that reality with Sam. It has not even been a year yet. And even Ava walking into Alexis's office, it's like the picture frame is basically of Sam and Lucas,
Yeah.
Sam is also Ava's family, right? They're both Julian's children.
Yes.
But it's just interesting because when I look at that photo, like I see Sam as belonging to Alexis and I see Lucas as sort of like belonging a little bit to Ava in that way, just showing the
Absolutely.
connections they have, but still like this friction. And I mean, look, for Ava's perspective, this is an opportunity to get herself out of some trouble with the money. And her and Alexis have their own thing. And I know at the end of the day, these are Christina's actions, right?
Yes.
Nobody knows that Ava basically kept like didn't help Sunny with the pills, right? So that's the thing. That's one bit of information that nobody has about, let's say, the prompting events for Kristina.
Okay.
I'm not saying it makes it better she tried to kill her,
Okay.
but
I
I'm just
was
saying it's what do you call that? Mitigating circumstances?
circumstances.
Look, I'll just say this. Diane really helped me out. She knocked me out of a fog because I know a lot of people have been suspecting that Kristina would end up being institutionalized. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that's like, why?
I just figure timing wise, like there's nobody that's been at Turning Woods for a long time.
But just
So we're
behaviorally,
due.
right? Like a lot of people
Mhm.
are saying these things because of her actions. And it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Lucky and Kristina, why are they taking turns having opposite conversations?
Mhm.
Wasn't Lucky trying to get her to confess one week?
Yeah.
And then the following week, he's like, do not confess. Do not confess to anyone.
Because he was worried about evidence, something that the PCP don't know too much about. But Lucky's been out of the game for a while, so he understands how that works. So
But I mean,
I
with
think
him,
that's why.
well, I don't know, but what does that mean? Like evidence? Like he went to go check it out for her and told her she was in the clear, but either way, he seemed to have changed his tune about what he should do. Like, let's be real. Lucky would have been down for covering with Kristina so long as Elizabeth wasn't the one that was hurt. So
Oh,
it's like,
yeah, 100%.
so for me, it's like when Lucky's talking to Kristina about her actions, it's like, sure, I'm guessing maybe he would have had a problem with it, but the reason he has a major problem is is Elizabeth, and Christina's not wrong. He is the one who told her to flood the scene and get herself an alibi. He knew
Mhm.
exactly what happened. He knew that somehow Christina caused something and her intention was to harm Ava. He knew that. And he was more than game to help her with that until he found out it was Elizabeth.
Yes. That's true. That's
So
true.
for me, I'm like, on the Lucky front, but I just felt like that's your mom. That's the mom in you. Because Laura tells everyone to confess and to go to jail. She thinks it's good for the soul.
That's true.
And there Lucky was. Because I didn't know if Lucky would have encouraged her at all to go to the police. Do you think Ava's lying? Do you think she actually kept the car? Or do you think it was impounded the way that the guy said it was?
Impounded the way the guy said it was, and even the video can't really see Christina, and she's grasping at straws. So at the end of the day, I don't feel like she has much to go on, but Christina still needs to be put away, sadly.
Okay, so Diane made me see that today because when Diane laid it out, she's like, "Remember the gun? And now this, it's becoming a pattern." I'm like, okay, so I think I'm starting to see the problem. It's like, I don't know what it is for me because when I think back, I guess for me, I was comparing like, Carly, like Nell did a really good job, like making Carly seem crazy, right? Like she did. And Carly
Yes.
was institutionalized in the past, and it was, again, a legal maneuver. Um,
Hmm.
then it's like I had my frame of reference was sort of like Morgan when he went in and just Sunny's like mental health issues. So for me, that's what I had in mind. And I'm not saying that Christina's behavior is okay, but I guess maybe that's why I've been very much like, Ma, she seems like herself. Like that's like for me, for why I'm saying like I guess I didn't see that because everyone's like, Christina's a problem. Like, is she? And I'm like, I just think it's really messed up that like I wasn't really there or like tuned into that. Because I guess for me, I was just like, yeah, that's Christina. And I guess I too was making excuses for her. And I'm like, well, Ava, she did try to kind of kill her dad. And so she did this. I don't know what it is, but I guess for me, I guess because I felt like Christina seemed like herself. And yes, she was doing messed up things. And I guess I just felt like, oh, she's just one of those characters that makes a lot of chaos. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Because we've seen characters in her family do far worse.
And I do get it. It's really messy. Like her actions have really sent things into a tailspin and it's just constant chaos. And to be honest, like Diane nailed it, right? Like it's the perfect protection so that
Yes.
Alexis wouldn't be under Ava's thumb. So this is interesting because I'm not sure where they're going with Ava. They threw in the story of Ava having these financial issues and struggling in that way. And I'm
Hmm.
kind of curious to see where it goes because Alexis is moving forward with Diane's plan, which means that Ava's not going to get the money she wants. So I'm not quite sure what the point is of that. If they're trying to get Ava back into the mob. Oh, maybe that.
That's what I was thinking, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So they're trying to get her back into the mob, give her a reason to have to do something drastic for money. Because obviously this is not going to come through. And so when Diane was talking and she painted that picture, I was like, honestly, that's perfect, right? Because at the end of the day, Christina will benefit. Like when Diane was laying out like her recent behavior, all the things that she went through, the fact that if she was put away, that it would soften the blow when Molly finds out, because that's the biggest thing, right? For Alexis is what's going to happen when Molly finds out about all of this. And the fact that Ava was like, I'm going to tell Molly tomorrow. So it's like, even if she had to go to the police, she wouldn't even have bothered going to the police. She would have just blown up their whole family.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, does Molly deserve that? And I guess for me, it's like the fact that Ava has been using Molly. She used Molly with Rick,
Yes.
and she used Molly again, and she was willing to hurt her, right? Like
Yeah, big
she's
time.
telling Rick, "Let me go blackmail Alexis because what's going to happen if Molly finds out?" And then she's like, "Well, if I don't get what I want, I'm going to go straight to Molly and tell her."
So messed up.
I think that on some level, however it's going to happen, Ava and Rick may part ways.
Yeah, I can see that.
Alexis was really cute. The line that she had for Rick when
Oh,
she said something, "You'd really rather die than be on good terms with me."
it was amazing. Top line of
Oh
them.
no.
Of them.
Oh no.
Why?
Well, Alexis and Rick have a funny relationship.
Yeah.
And I just said that, like, I don't know, maybe there is still room for some kind of falling out with Ava
Oh
and Rick. And
boy.
I'm just saying this because of like she threatened Molly. But if Christina's not in the picture and they're there to support Molly, and I feel like Christina's definitely like a roadblock, with Rick. He really, it's a sore spot for him. She, I
Mm-hmm.
think, represents Sunny to Rick and also
Yes.
feels like he'd rather blame Christina for Molly not getting her needs met than maybe acknowledging his absence in Molly's life. So there's a lot that
Mm-hmm.
gets projected onto like Christina. But with her absence, you know, like Alexis is going to be suffering, right? With the loss of Sam, Chris having done this to Christina, and also just Molly being hurt as news comes out and also
Yes.
dealing with this. I could see Rick showing compassion for
Oh my
Alexis.
word. Okay,
Maybe,
okay,
maybe.
okay.
But even Elizabeth was throwing a little something Rick's way. I couldn't believe that. I thought she was starting something with Lucky, and then she's talking to Lucas and talking about what would need to happen for her to like, consider Rick.
She's really keeping her options open, that one.
Yeah, she actually like admitted that she has her own gray area, which is kind of, I think, reflective of Elizabeth's growth because for a lot of the years of her character, there was always Elizabeth hiding that she had any gray, and she always like kind of worked to portray this like perfect type person.
Yes.
So I mean, again, I'm loving who Elizabeth has become,
Me too.
but this is kind of like, this is going to be really intense. There's a huge intensity coming for like Alexis and her family. I'm just so curious what this all is going to do for them.
I know because I just feel bad for Alexis. Like she's been that whole family's just been through
I
it.
know, I
Like it's time
know.
for good things ahead, and we're not there yet, apparently.
But how would Lucas feel if he found out what Ava did?
You'd be really upset.
I don't know. But he's a little preoccupied with Marco.
They're so cute. I like I've gotten used to this Lucas. He has
Yes, I
taken on
have.
I have, and I have a very much an appreciation for who he is and what he's going through in his journey. And I love what you said. I think you said it when they met at the hotel that, you made that guess that he's in the mob. So his gray area is going to have to be really different because if he thinks Brad is bad, apparently he's dating Jens's lackey lawyer son. Failure.
Well, I just think that like the whole thing with Brad, right? He wasn't involved in the mob. He was connected. And it's the exact same thing with Marco. He is connected. He's not actively doing crime, but it's just shocking to find out that he's such a disappointment because he became a lawyer.
I laughed so hard. I'm like, I've
I
never heard it said
know.
in that way.
I know. And I guess now we know what he meant when he said you broke up this family. And I'm just saying, like, we witnessed Natalia and everything that went down with Blaze. So it was so weird having her sit at the table with Marco and then just start judging his whole life and being like, it's wrong because you're not living your life how I want you to live your life. I was like, this is insane. Like, this
Well,
is
somebody brought that
actually
time
insane.
machine out. I'm very confused.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay, so basically, we weren't wrong because when Blaze came to town, we suspected that her family was in the mob, but I guess maybe not. So Blaze is her kid with somebody else,
Yes.
and her other kid was in like the mob or whatever.
Yes.
Regardless of her like interaction with Marco, and I'm hoping she can let go of the lawyer thing. I hope. I hope she can put it
I
aside.
really can't. It's a tough one
I
when your kid is such a failure in that way that he chose law. That's something you just can't
but
overcome.
he's saying like I'm good, right? Like can't he do two things? Like give up music because of you, but then also find some other thing that he likes to do with his life?
How dare you?
I don't know about that. Anyways, I mean, I hope she can get it together when it comes to Marco, but I did feel for her when Sunny broke up with her. Like broke
They
up
broke
their
up their
friendship.
friendship.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah, that's sad. Friendships over, platonic friendships growing. There's a lot going on.
Well, I mean, Tracy questioned Maxie's loyalty to Lulu by hiring and wanting to work with Sidwell, given what he did to Lulu's brother.
Just another thing, an adventure that Lulu wasn't involved in, but that she talks about a lot.
Oh, but she's over it. Like, let's just be
So
real.
over it, guys.
She's over what happened to Lucky. She's absolutely over finding Charlotte because Charlotte's found. I think
Yeah,
she's even over Brooklyn's secret.
totally over it,
uh
guys.
Now the main event is she's got feelings.
She's in love.
She's in love. And I'm like, okay, well, that's nuts. Like all the chaos she created. And then I'm watching this conversation. Like when she showed up there to talk to Dante, and she was saying stuff like, "You didn't tell me about Brooklyn." And I mean, like, to be honest, he could have easily said, "Yeah, we hooked up when we were kids, but never like anything meaningful." Like, I'll be
Yes.
honest, he could have said something. But again, he's
Yes.
saying it didn't matter and it was something that he kind of forgot about and didn't really think was important. Either way, she's like, "I can't trust you." And he's kind of like, weird. Because like we went on to have children. Like it's just again, I think it is baffling for him that it happened so long ago.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then that whole conversation that she had with Cody, because like we said, you know, Sam hasn't passed so long ago, like when we're talking about what Alexis is going through. Like literally Dante leaves. Like the guy is still very much grieving. Like we saw him go to lunch with like Kristina and Sunny and was like, "Yeah, like I'm hanging in there." And then Lulu's like, "So do you think do you think because I have a feeling. Do you think that I should just tell him because I'm having it? Like, because I have never considered keeping my thoughts to myself. So I'm just curious what
Something
you
she's
think."
very much not capable of.
No, and it's funny because like Cody made a reference to that saying, "I'm not the kind of person who feels the need to run and tell people things they don't want to hear or just things at all." And I love that he had to coach her in like, just not right now. Like he needs space and time.
Yes. Oh, she's too much.
But I don't think anything is going to really lead to Dante, though,
I don't think so at
honestly.
all. It can't.
Well, I feel like she has the choice, right, to talk to Maxie about her feelings, but she won't. She'll just get further entangled with Cody. And it's kind of crazy to me, like for all the times like she's at the quartermain, she's never with Rocco.
She's never with her. You never hear her make plans with her children, even if we don't see them. You're like, oh, I gotta go because I'm on my way too, or I just got back
Nope.
from. Nope, nothing, nothing.
Well, she has this life plan, right? She's going to move out, be independent with zero job, and
Yeah,
then she's going to get custody of Rocco and they're all going to live together. And I'm like, she's got plans. She
big
has
plans.
got plans. I'm just saying again, like just sit with yourself for like 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, and just take some time. Like Dante is not the only one that needs to heal. So does
Yeah.
she, and she refuses to acknowledge that what she went through was traumatic, and that while she has gained her life, she lost a lot. You know, she gained, she lost, but she refuses to give any space to that. So again, I think that she's going to move forward and make some bad choices, and frankly, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I wanted to be with Cody. Like, that's cool.
They fit though.
They
Like
do much more than Molly.
they just do. So the thing is, okay, so now with this whole thing going on, Brooklyn and Lois had to make a truce. And it's terrible, right? Because Brooklyn made this choice when she was a kid, but now that she's an adult and everything has come rushing back, she's sort of like, "Oh my gosh, I'm lying to all these people." Because for years, she wasn't lying to all these people because it was something she pushed
Mm-hmm.
down and it wasn't at the forefront of her mind. But with her truce with Lois, and understanding that they need to find a way to make peace and move past this so that people don't start asking questions. I'm just wondering if this is going to lead Brooklyn to give Lois all the facts because they're supposed to be keeping the secret.
You think she's gonna tell her about Geo?
No, I meant like about Lulu, right? Because right now, like, look,
Oh, right.
Lois and her mom are going to be too terrified. Like, Brooklyn was this mad. over Lois needing her own mother's support. There's no way they're gonna survive knowing that it like
No.
that. No, like that. That's what they're showing us, right? Like that is
It's
not
just
something that.
sad.
Yeah, no, that's huge. So like, I don't see Lois. I mean, look, unless Brooklyn straight up says like I want to know or want to tell people, I don't know. I think Lois might say something like she stepped up by saying, "Hey, you're right. You know, it's on me. I'm the one who's going to take the heat for having lied to your dad, your grandmother, to Sunny. Like I will do that." So I think that was a huge show on Lois's part, and I think that she would. I think she would. I think if she saw Brooklyn suffering, and the moment Brooklyn says she wants to find her kid, I think Lois will risk it all to give Brooklyn her kid.
I totally agree. No matter the cost.
Oh, it's gonna be bad, and it's gonna
So
be a
bad.
cost.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Did we cover all of the things? Did we talk about all the stuff?
We
Yes.
did. We did. Um, I'll
Don't do
just
this
say
to me.
Okay, I'll just say this about Kai. Curtis has me worried because I don't think he's wrong when he tells Kai that you're going to be paying a higher price than you know, and that if he could do that to his family, what will he do to you? I mean, of course, we know that Drew has an agenda, but what Curtis said scared me about the position that Kai could be in because, like, we see Portia, we see all these other people, we see Nina.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm a little bit scared for Kai.
Me too. And he just seems so sweet. And the countdown is on for the nurses' ball. So that's
I'm
what I'm looking forward to.
so that guy does not know what he's in for. When they had that
Exactly.
scene and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what kind of act I'm going to do. All I've been doing is who is going to be in the Magic Milo act?
I know.
Who?" Yeah.
I need to know. It's going to be unveiled, unwrapped.
Well, because Lucas has done it twice. I was trying to find old clips and I landed on two old Magic Milo skits, and twice Lucas is in it. So I'm like, is he going to do it again? Which would be great, right? Because Marco will show up. You know, his dad is underwriting the nurses' ball, and then there's Lucas in the Magic Milo act.
Okay, on a side note, my silly brain is like, that's Michael's big comeback. There's always something big at the nurses' ball.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Michael is recovering from burns in a hospital.
But
And
exactly, he's
then
better. And then he's got to show everybody all the things that are
yes,
better.
yes, and then that's the big unveiling. He's going to be part of the Magic Milo act. What
Yeah,
I
that's
yeah,
my
that
prediction.
is great writing right there.
This is why we do what we do.
What?
Okay, folks. Okay, I gave away all my favorite lines. Do you have any
Do
favorite
I have
lines?
something else? Okay, so look, let me see. I'm stopping myself and I'm just gonna stick to the lines. I'm gonna stick to the lines.
That you've already said.
Because I was gonna say more stuff, but I'm not gonna do that. Right?
We're just
Right?
going to give a whole bunch of stars to
Okay.
everybody.
So so I'll throw in one favorite that I did not say earlier. I was loving
Okay.
this, right? Because like Jocelyn's like studying to be a spy, but then she's so freaking silly because like at one point they were talking and at the same time that he said it, I was like, it's on a need to know basis. And then he said, your mission. And then she's like, should I choose to accept it? And then she's like
So
laughing at
cute.
herself for the joke. Died. Favorite line.
Loved it.
I love the silliness that she's like embarking on this like super serious life decision post first murder. And she's like, hee hee.
I know. And he keeps trying
Funny.
to remind her, like, this is your life is over. And then it's restarts, like,
Oh my god, it's funny. It's really funny.
Oh my gosh. And stars to everybody. Like, it was a really interesting week. Friday with the big blow up. I cannot wait to see what next week has to bring.
More.
You heard it here first, folks. There will be more.
I should be doing commercials for General Hospital.
Just like worth more. Explosion. Magic Milo.
There's more story. What can we expect tomorrow? More of what you saw.
Expanded upon.
In additional scenes.
On that note, folks,
Oh,
that's a wrap and have a fantastic weekend.
bye.
Bye.